ships. Staggered line. Shipmaster, they outnumber us 3-1.
Then it is an even fight.
All cruisers fire at will. Burn their mongrel hides.
Credo versus pedo baptism, here we go!
Let's see, the Baptists are outnumbering the Presbyterians tonight. So, how you feeling, RC? Feeling all right?
Is this working? If there are more Baptists and Presbyterians, that's good, because that makes it more of a fair fight.
Hey, Nate, you baptizing babies?
No.
Oh, man.
No.
Oh.
I'm a Credo Baptist. I wrote for Credo magazine, man. Credo.
I just was having a little hope. That's all.
That's all right. That's all right.
So Nate,
we're still reforming, right? Is that how it works?
That's right.
Well, you are, obviously.
Speaking of baptism, I just read the questions. I know it's a huge and often controversial subject, but could anyone give some advice to someone who struggles on the pedo versus credo baptism subject, who has been praying but still is torn between the two sides and is hoping to have children as soon as the Lord wills? Thank you.
Nope.
That's a really easy one. Have the child baptized.
Well, I would say this.
6.5 hours later.
So only to have somewhat of equal time, so anyway, I realize I'm odd man out, but as John Knox said, God plus one makes majority.
So one day, when we get to heaven, then RC and Michael and I are all going to find out about what the real view of baptism was. And the reason
we already know.
The reason that Michael already knows, and he's just waiting for me to find out.
Did you want us to go on talking about that? I mean, I would say to someone who's struggling with this, and we know there are good people on both sides of this question, good people who are right and good people who are wrong.
And we have some really special gifts from a friend.
Yes.
Bullish Cellars. It's sort of a whiskey brandy thing. Man. Here we go. This third segment
is homemade.
Is going to be really good.
Homemade.
This is what I get for hanging out with Presbyterians.
You knew this was going to happen, man. You know us well enough. So
y'all act like y'all ain't be doing this. Come on.
I know.
Let's just say that we don't get this on Askell's show.
You don't?
Hey, but let's not.
We're releasing our own cigar label. We're drinking whiskey.
You need to check what's in Jared's cup, though. I'm just saying.
That would be true. I don't know.
I know Baptists well enough to know that after the convention leaves, so does half the alcohol that was in the state they were in. So don't act like.
What's the joke about Baptists in a liquor store?
You don't. They don't recognize each other in the liquor store.
Right.
Or when you go camping, if you bring a Baptist friend, you got to bring two of them so they hold each other accountable and they don't drink all your beer.
Or where four are gathered, there's always a fifth.
And for me, as a seminary student, I went to seminary as a Baptist and left as a Presbyterian. And when I went back to Britain, the Baptists didn't want me for some reason. And the Presbyterians didn't know who I was, and they wanted to send me back to college. It was like a gestalt. In gestalt psychology, you look at this picture, and it's a rabbit eating a carrot. And then, you look at it again, and it's a witch on a broomstick. And I mean, if you're on a desert island, surely you'd want to create a presbytery and plant several churches. And, or if you're a Dutchman on a desert island, when they rescue you...
Would you send a copy of the Heidelberg Catechism to us if this happens?
Yes, I will. But you know, if a Dutchman's on a desert island, they rescue you after 20 years and there are 4 buildings, and you ask, why are there 4 buildings? Well, one is my home, one is the Christian school. Not enough Dutchmen here to get that. And one is my church, and then the 4th building is my former church. So, because it's a very important question, and it's a question that, relates to, do you only read the New Testament, or do you also read the Old Testament? You know, why in the New Covenant does God exclude a category of people that he loved in the Old Covenant, namely children? But no, we don't want to go there. And
please add to that.
Well, the good and necessary consequence would be something like infant baptism and that great text in Acts chapter 2. But I won't...
RC is still with us.
to you and to your children?
Yes.
But the doctrine of the Trinity, because I love you.
That's becoming debatable, but go ahead.
6.5 hours later.
And at that point, you're drawing a good and necessary consequence. I'm done.
We're done?
We're done.
I was wanting to reread
the question. Well, we could go back to...
Because
I think we left the question a while ago.
All of a sudden we got to infant baptism, and it's like, all right. I just would like to see that question one more time.
Why does God allow polygamy in the Old Testament? God's plan for marriage is clearly defined in Genesis 2:24. But there seems to be a disconnect between the principle and the practice.
Since Bob is Mr. Old Testament, we'll let Bob deal with all the children from the polygamy relationship. All those holy children. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, are we moving on? Are you sufficiently triggered?
I can just say, as someone who comes from a Baptist background, that Ligonier really has been a place for Baptists to have a moment of sanity, to find a home. I can't believe I get a clap for that, but...
It was the Presbyterians
It was
clapping.
the Presbyterians. And the Dutch were asleep, so... And R.C. would say, Lawson, what do we have to do to make you to be a Presbyterian? I said, I'd love to be a Presbyterian. You have more money.
We have a lot of questions.
I would like to talk about how Presbyterians have more money than Baptists, however. That would be an interesting topic.
Point of difference there. Here, as we sit in this facility.
The first time I walked into this facility, I happened to meet a Baptist speaker at the door. And as I looked around, I said to him, how is it that all you Baptists are not post-millennial? And
we are thankful for our host facility.
Baptism, a means of grace. Grace and its benefits is what it communicates. So, beloved, look back to your baptism. If you doubt his forgiveness, remember. Baptism, a means of grace. Grace and its benefits is what it communicates. So, beloved, look back to your baptism. If you doubt his forgiveness, remember.